Ooh, I made that a little strong. Hey y'all, hey, it's Troyia Monay, back to y'all with another video. Today's video is super exciting, you guys. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new series. So this series, you guys, is called Girl Boss Talk. I actually got this idea from one of my favorite YouTubers, Aaliyah's Face. Shout out to her. She does a series similar on her channel, and it's called Girls Night In, where she really just talks about a lot of different topics that, you know, millennial women are dealing with. So I decided to put a little spin on it, and we are going to be talking all about business girl talk. So everything as it relates to being a female entrepreneur, especially a woman of color, who are, you know, experiencing all the craziness as it relates to entrepreneurship. So in today's video, y'all, we got a drink. We got a drink. So hopefully you have done the same. Make sure you pause it right here. Come back to the video. Go get yourself something nice and refreshing to drink.
A few moments later.
I am drinking, what is this? Tequila on a Monday at 3 o'clock tequila. I have a shot of tequila in here. We got some cranberry watermelon. You know, topped it off with a nice cute strawberry for the vibes. So I am super excited for today's video. So how this is going to go, you guys, is every single month I'm going to be asking you guys a series of questions. Feel free to go through and answer them, or send me any questions that you guys would like for me to answer here on our Girl Boss Talk. I'm also going to be inviting a couple of you guys to come through on the video with me, so we can go through and piggyback off of each other as it relates to a lot of the controversial topics as it relates to female entrepreneurship. So to go through and kick it off, you guys, we are going to be doing 5 things I did wrong as an entrepreneur and 5 things I did right as an entrepreneur. And boy, do I got some juicy information for you, because your girl did a lot of things right. I did a lot of things right, but I did a lot of things wrong too. So we're gonna go through that in today's video. So let's hop into it. I got my phone here. Ooh, I made that a little strong. Ooh. So I got my phone here, and we are gonna go through all of these together. I am super excited to give y'all some insight on my life as it relates to entrepreneurship. So let's start with the wrongs, and then we're gonna go to the rights, and then we're gonna teeter-totter back and forth to each and every one of them. So first things first, first thing that I did wrong as it relates to entrepreneurship is that I was worrying about other people and their opinions, especially when I first got started. So right now, that is definitely something of the past. Like, that is definitely something I no longer do. Like, I am not concerned with anyone and their opinions anymore. But when I first started my business, I was really like, oh my goodness, what are people gonna think of me? Like, you know, you just graduated from college. People are gonna think that you're insane, jumping into entrepreneurship. Like, I literally thought that people were worried about me, and that is not the case. I don't know what book I read some time ago, or I've heard it like on a podcast or something, but people are not worried about you as much as you think that they are. They really aren't. They really aren't, right? Like, people have other agendas. They have other things going on in their lives, and they're not sitting pondering like, oh my goodness, Troyia is starting this business. Who does she think she is? Da, da, da. If anything, you might cross their mind for a couple of seconds, and guess what? They own to something else that they have going on, right? So that is definitely one thing, is worrying about other people and worrying about their opinions. I worried about like what my friends and family was gonna say. I worried about like what my college classmates were gonna think of me. I worried about what I was thinking of myself. Like, everyone's opinion was bothering me so much, to the point where it just got to a point where I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. At the end of the day, people are going to talk regardless. And like my grandma used to say, they talked about Jesus. So guess what? Keep it moving, and don't worry about things that people have to say, especially if it's something that you're really passionate about, especially if it's something that you know that you have been called to go through and do. So definitely worrying about other people and their opinions was definitely number one on something that, you know, really that I did wrong, because it hindered me so much, and it took away from my, you know, level of creativity that I wasn't able to go through and produce. So that is number one as to things that I did wrong as it relates to entrepreneurship. All right, so first things first. First thing that I did right as it relates to entrepreneurship is to give myself grace and trust the process. Probably the number one thing I did right, or maybe the number 2 thing I did right, is giving myself grace and really allowing myself to go through and trust the process, y'all. Like, woo! There have been times when I first started my business where I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to do this. I have to create content. I have to go to the fashion district. I have to go through and launch a new collection. I have to go through and do campaign. I have to do this. I have to do that. And then I started doing YouTube, and that's a whole nother job within itself. I have to go through and film a video. Oh my goodness, my equipment isn't working, and this and that. And I really learned was to like literally woosah, take a break, and to really make sure that I have given myself grace. So what I do now is I am not afraid to take a break. I am not afraid to take a step back at any given point. At any given point. I am not afraid to do those things because I know that entrepreneurship is literally, it's hard, right? It's so hard. But one thing I always stress to anyone who's been a client of mine, anyone who's any of like my friends, or anyone who's thinking of entrepreneurship, they have probably heard me say this 1,000 times. I am not performing anybody's life surgery. Nobody's life is dependent on me starting this brand. And I can say that because I don't have any children. Right? My parents, none of my family members are depending on me, right? I know for someone else, that might not be the case. However, for me, I am not performing nobody's life surgery. The business will be there. And I can get back to it. I can do it at my own will, at my own capacity. I cannot operate in a stage of panic, in a stage of fear, in a stage of just being heavy and with like all of these emotions and being stressed out. Like that is not where I'm able to evolve. That's not where I'm able to be as creative as I know that I can be. So just giving myself grace if I make mistakes, grace if I need to take a break, grace if I did something wrong within my business, and literally trusting the process. Going out there and understanding that when I launch this business, I might not get sales right away. Right? Like, the one thing that I always tell myself is I wake up every morning, and every morning before I start my work, I always ask myself, Troyia, how bad do you want it? Right? Like, I understand sometimes it's great to give yourself grace, but sometimes we just got to toughen through it, get through it real quick, and make sure that we are executing and moving on. So that is number one on the things I did right, is giving myself grace, allowing myself to make mistakes, and then also allowing myself to trust the process. All right, y'all, so up next for things that I did wrong is not budgeting my money and not hiring an accountant. Let's talk about it. So, y'all, I am not afraid to say that when it comes to finances, when it comes to money, that aspect of business is not where I thrive. I don't want nothing to do with it, really. That's why you guys rarely see me do videos talking about like finances and things like that, unless it's things that are helping you get started. But I don't do a ton of videos on those things because that's not my strong suit, right? So I really, really, really want all of you guys to listen to me. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's make it a habit to really organize our business's finances, budget our money. Y'all, when I first started, there was no budget. I was just spending whatever was in the account on inventory. I was spending it on photo shoots. I was spending it on anything that I needed to, you know, go through and create my content or anything like that, equipment, spending all my money. And I did not have an accountant. So guess what? Taxes wasn't getting done on time. Everything was disorganized on the back end. So that is definitely something that I did wrong as it relates to entrepreneurship for sure. Next thing for things that I did right, you guys, is investing in a coach. That is probably the number one thing that I did right, was invested in a coach. If you do not have a coach, please hire a coach if you are ready for coaching. I'm going to do a whole entire separate video talking about business coaching. When is a good time to hire a coach? Do you need a coach? I'll be doing an entire separate video on that. But me hiring a coach was the best thing that I could have ever done. The reason why is because it helped me accountable. I paid somebody my hard-earned money, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do what you told me to do because you're the expert and I hired you. So definitely hiring a coach. As soon as I hired a coach, I went from, I can be transparent with y'all, I probably went from like $5,000 to $7,000 months to seeing at least $15,000 months consistently, like within my coaching business and then also within my boutique at the time as well. So definitely hiring a coach. When you put money into something that you want to do, you are going to do the work and you are going to show up. All of my clients have said the same thing. My clients who are in my program probably paid me anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000 for my 12-week program. And guess what? Them girls show up. Them girls show up to every single call. Not only do they show up, they pay attention, they ask questions, they execute on the information that I've given them. Because when you put money into something, the outcome is so much greater because you're willing to do it. How many of us have gone through and signed up for somebody's course, somebody's masterclass, or somebody's ebook that was free, and we ain't even opened up the email? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So yes, we have to go through and make sure that we invest in coaching. I am like an advocate for coaching. Like, do it. It will change your life, hiring a coach. All right, so next thing for things that I did wrong. Next thing that I think of things that I did wrong was thinking my brand was all about me. That is the worst, one of the worst things that I could have ever done. You guys, y'all hear me talk about target audience all the time, making sure we understand who our business is targeting, all of the things. We need to make sure that we are creating brands for other people. Your brand is not for you, right? So there's nothing wrong, even though this is a pet peeve of mine, of me as a marketer, me as a coach, it's a pet peeve of mine for people to launch on their birthday. Because the brand is not about you. Unless you are someone of some status, and unless you are a direct representation of your target audience, you launching on your birthday literally is irrelevant for your brand. Right? If wanted wardrobe, my brand wanted wardrobe, if I was a direct representation of that brand and I was out here like Lori Harvey or Jada Waiter or someone like that, and I launched for my birthday, it makes perfect sense. Because I have an audience of people who want to celebrate that birthday with me. A lot of us sometimes, our egos, y'all gonna kill me for this. I know how you girls like to tussle. But sometimes our egos are really big and we think that our birthdays and all these special events are super important, which they are. However, your audience does not know you. So they can give two hex about your birthday, right? So really make sure that you are creating a brand that is tailored around an audience and not a brand that's tailored around yourself. So one thing that I can give you guys a good example of is whenever you're looking for inventory, whenever you're looking for products, make sure that you double check and ask yourself, is this a product my audience is going to like, or is this a product that Troyia is going to like, or Sarah is going to like, or Amanda is going to like? Is it a product that you like, or is it a product that your audience likes? Like, we need to go through and clarify that real quick. All right, y'all, so we are back. My camera was hating on me, decided it wanted to overheat, so we back. So all in all, like I was saying, just make sure when you are creating a brand that you are creating it for an audience and not for yourself, right? So next thing, you guys, as the things that I did right was increase those prices, okay? Can't everybody just stop what they're doing and just say, increase the price? We have to make sure that we are in the business of making money and we cannot be lowballing ourselves, right? So one thing that I have definitely done right is to increase my prices around the board. So that might be within my coaching services, that might be within anybody that's trying to do a video here on my YouTube channel, that might be within my boutique. Increase the price. We put so much time, so much effort, so much money, so much blood, so much sweat, so much tears into making our dreams come true. We should be compensated accordingly. So that's definitely something I did right, was increase those prices, because your girl got to get paid. We got bills to pay. And I think that it is important to increase your prices just because you're able to get compensated more in order to pour more back into whatever it is that you're doing. All right, so next thing that I did wrong when it relates to entrepreneurship was I was spending more time on the product and not enough time on the marketing. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. That is definitely something I did wrong. And something I see continuously with my clients. They're doing the same thing and I gotta be like, no sis, I gotta correct you. Sometimes we spend so much time going on Fashion Go, worrying about vendors. Y'all, my phone is just so rude. I set a timer for us to get back into the video. So we've spent so much time looking at vendors, searching up products, going through on Fashion Go, looking at inventory, that we don't even go through and spend enough time trying to market the product, right? We got to make sure we're spending equal, if not more, time on marketing the product than we are looking for the product itself. Whatever it is that you're selling literally does not matter. Your product doesn't matter. The marketing is what matters. It's folks out here selling toilet paper. It's folks out here selling bleach in other products, right? Like, even though those are products that does solve people's problems, we have to make sure that we're looking more into the marketing of the product than we are within the product itself. It really does not matter. Spend a lot more time marketing your product than you are looking for your product. So that's something your girl did wrong, because I was spending days and nights and hours looking at inventory, trying to search to see if I could find a cheaper vendor, trying to figure out who that vendor's vendor was. And I was not spending enough time actually on marketing the product. And once I did go through and spend a lot more time marketing the product, guess what? Your girl got more sales, increasing my average order value. I was able to make sure that I was getting great profits, all of the things. All right, so up next for things that I did right was to build a team, hire my virtual assistant, hiring a graphic designer. That was gold. It was gold. As soon as I went through and expanded my team and decided that I am not going to do everything all by myself is when things went crazy for me. That's when I went from, like I said earlier, those $5,000, $7,000 months after I hired my coach even, and then going through and hitting like 15K months, even sometimes $25,000 months, right? So I think that is so important to really, really, really make sure that you start looking into building a team after you've gone through and generated enough revenue. Those of you guys, you ain't even generating no revenue yet, and you're trying to hire some folks. Let's go through and make sure that we are hiring based upon need and not based upon want, right? So that's definitely something I did right, was building a team, because it just allowed me to be more productive and allowed me to spend more time in my zone of genius than me doing things that are like minuscule tasks. All right, so things that I did wrong. The last thing that I did wrong was I did not create a business plan when I first started my brand, when I first started my business. Those of you guys who are just watching this video, today is day one of the boot camp that I'm launching. It is called the 2023 Product Playbook Boot Camp. If it is still going on, today is October 24th. The boot camp is 3 days, October 25th, 26th. So make sure you guys go through, click down below, and make sure you sign up for the boot camp. We have a free option, we have a paid option, where you're able to get a lot more from me, and you guys are able to get access to workbooks, replays, all the amazing things. So make sure you guys go through, click the link down below, and sign up for that. It is to help you maximize and plan 2023. So make sure you guys go through and get that if it is still around when you are watching this video. If not, there will be a replay to it down below, and you'll still be able to access the workbook too. All right, so let me get back into it, y'all. So yes, creating a business plan was something that I did wrong. I did not create a business plan when I first started my business. Some people think that business plans are dead, and I just do not think that that's the case. Literally, I always say, like, your data, your analytics is the GPS to your business, but it's really your business plan. So make sure y'all are creating business plans. I have an entire free business plan template that you can download down below. All you have to do is enter your information, and you're good to go. All right, so the last thing for things that I did right was I bet on myself, and I outworked everybody. Period. Y'all, I have started this YouTube channel. There is some goats out here, like some people who've been out here doing YouTube for so much longer than me, and I've surpassed them. I've gone through and I've done so much, and that's one thing that I really love about myself is I'm willing to bet on myself, and I try my best to outwork myself. I try my best to outwork people around me. I work my ass off. I do. My mama will call me, be like, Trey, what you doing? Oh, actually, I already know what you're doing. You're working. Yes, I'm always working. I am always perfecting my craft. I am always reading. I am always researching. I'm always trying to be a student. And that's one thing I love is please, you guys, always be a student. Always make sure that you are just taking up information. But please, I've heard this on the Social Proof Podcast, and I'm going to say 1,000 times. Do not be so addicted to education that you're allergic to execution. You got to be out here and do something with the information that you learn, right? Like, you have to go through and execute. And one thing that I will say is I'm an executor. I remember me and my assistant went to Magic in Las Vegas, and we were just sitting there bored waiting on our Uber, and we were like, okay, I think that we should do an event. And then I was like, oh, I don't know about that. Like we like going back and forth, like, should we do an event or not? And then I was like, yeah, we're gonna do an event. And guess what? We did an event that same year, 5 or 6 months after that. Like, that is what I mean by, like, I literally put my money where my mouth is. I try my best to execute so much because I know the power of execution. How I'm here today, how I done everything that I have is just by execution. You have to execute. Knowledge is only powerful unless it is executed, y'all. I'm just so passionate. I'm out here just dripping my drink and stuff. That's how you know we need to wrap up this video, y'all. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is our first episode of Girl Boss Talk. That was it, you guys. 5 things I did right as far as entrepreneurship, and then also 5 things that I did wrong as it relates to entrepreneurship. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram at Troyia Monay and also at Her Hustle Academy. I'll be making an announcement very soon where I'll be inviting you guys to come on out and join me on our Girl Boss Talk. It'll be held via Zoom, so we can kind of chit chat. We're going to be talking about controversial topics as it relates to entrepreneurship. We'll be talking about controversial topics outside of entrepreneurship, so I'm super excited to see all of you guys there. And that's it for the video, y'all. Hope you guys enjoy a little chit chat. And I'll see you guys in the next one.